Well, we got us a rusty old bayonet here. Needs a restoration. The handles are broke the handle is broke on this side. Now this is very old. I'm not sure if it's a real bayonet or a reproduction. I don't see any marks on the tang. I mean on the down here at the bottom. But there could be one somewhere on there. We get the rust off of it. Not exactly sure what model it is, where it came from, anything else. But these old handles suggest that it's old. This is back in the 40s and 50s, they used a thing called Bakelite type of plastic, which is what this is. Now I'm going to build wooden handles for this. Now since this one's already broke and this screw is rusted in place, this bolt that holds it on there, I want to try to save the bolt, and we'll put it back in if I can. So since this is already broke, first step, we're just going to go ahead and finish breaking it. Oh, there went that piece. That way I can get some penetrating oil down in there to try to get this out. And what I should do, before I have to do another shop safety video, is go ahead and you'll see what I'm doing here. Just got a screwdriver. I'm going to finish breaking it off of there. Don't want to cut my hand open. I need the other side intact so I can make a pattern out of it, trace it over. It'll probably break too, but okay, we've got some movement in there. Hang on. Regardless of the fact whether it's real or not, it's still a pretty cool piece. A friend of mine dropped this off to me a while back. That little nut right there. Let's go ahead and put some blaster on there. That's probably too much, but alright, just let it sit for a little while, 15-20 minutes maybe. And see it bubbling, so it's working. See if we can't get that loose, because I really want to save that. And I want to note that this piece here goes like that when we put the, well, might even have to omit that piece, but we'll see. Step one. Alright, it's been a few minutes. Let's see if we can get this little nut off of there. Alright, it's moving. That's a good thing. I don't know if that's threaded all the way through there or not. Let's take our okay, it's moving. Now, this is a well-fitting screwdriver. It's not threaded, I can see it now, but it's moving, it's free. Just like that. That is good stuff. I've used it for years and years and years and years. Okay, no washer in there. That's just a little countersink right there. So I believe we can recreate that. We'll clean this up real good before we put it back in. Sorry I'm shivering, y'all. It's cold out here. 50 degrees in the shop. Low 40s outside and the wind is blowing. There, we're going to put all this in the rust bath. Okay, and that's that. Now, I'm going to get a pan if I can find one big enough. And let's clean this up just a little bit. Somebody has put this on a grinder, you can tell. It's got grind scratch marks all in it. Just a little bit of loose rust right in here. It doesn't appear to be pitted real bad. So I'm going to put it in a vinegar bath for a couple of hours, because it's not in very bad shape. Then we'll come back, clean it good, wire wheel it, see if we can find a maker's mark on it somewhere. And then we'll work on the handle. Hopefully it won't take too long. And then we'll think about a scabbard for it. Okay, Bayonet is out of the vinegar bath. Most of the rust come off. I think the wire wheel will take the rest of it off. I still can't find a maker's mark. It's a good chance there may have been one on there, but whoever took the grinder to it, it's just really rough. There may be something along the spine right here. I can barely see something. But we'll check it again once we get it wire wheeled. And I showed just a little bit of that. It's going to take a little time. Alright, oh, nope, nothing there. Double check the things. Nothing there. Chances are that's where it would be. Let's check this in. Let's this pommel cap right here in the seat, just in case. And I don't see anything there. So, we don't know what it is, but like I said, it's still a pretty cool piece. We'll go ahead and finish it up here. It's going to take a little time. Once I get it wire wheeled and cleaned, I'm going to have to do a little bit of hand sanding on it. Let's see if I can knock some of these marks out. It's really deep. We'll see what we can do. Make it look as good as we can. It will be a gun blue finish. It's Bayonet, tactical. You don't run into battle with something shiny. That's not smart. So, there you go. We'll work on it and we'll see it again here in a little bit. I was just cleaning off the surface rust after the vinegar bath. Looking pretty good. I'll clean it off real good with some acetone before I actually get the handles ready. Got a little bit more to go in here. We'll take care of the handle part first, then we'll move our attention to the blade. And that should do it. Alright, nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and trace the handle pattern. Get that roughed out before I do any more on here. So let's work on the handles. Alrighty, we got the rust off of it, all cleaned up. Now this side is much worse than the other side, where somebody has taken a grinder to it or put it on a sander, real coarse sander, something like that. So we're going to take the random orbit with a fresh 120 disc on it and see if we can't knock some of these marks out. Now every one of them's not going to come out, but I think I can make it look much better. And like I said before, if there was a maker's mark on there, it was ground off when all this was done. So, but that's okay, not the end of the world. It's still going to be nice. I'll watch your ears. Hang on, let me get the tripod situated here. I'll show you just a little bit of it, and we'll do the rest of it off camera. And this thing will work if you plug it in. Never a dull moment. Okay, that's going to work. It's going to take some time. We'll look at it again in a little bit. Alright, it's looking really good. I'm beginning to see why I got such a good deal on these sanding discs. Because they're not very good quality. Thank you very much, China. Cheap made in China stuff. But oh well, that's what we got, so that's what we'll work with. Alright, we got most of the scratches out of it. Before I put the finish on it, we're going to go over to the grinder with it, and I'm going to clean it up some more with some pretty aggressive compound, and then polish it out. But first, this edge has a few little nicks in it. Not many, enough to where you can notice the blade's not right. Not sharp, so I'm not going to run it with my finger, so you can feel them. Now I'm going to show you a trick of how, the way I do it, how to even this back out when they're really shallow like this. Top side's got a little nick right there. Plus it'll do two things. It'll take the little nicks out, straighten it, plus it'll knock that edge off and be less likely for me to cut myself on the buffing wheel if it gets away from me. Which let's hope it don't. But all you do, put it on the belt sander. Noise alert. There we go, now it's straight. Now I did not remove very much material at all. I'll be able to put the edge right back on there. When put the edge, regrind the edge, it should take care of those couple little spots that's still there. Same down here. Well, there we go. Now let's go to the buffer. Alright, over here at the buffer. Now I'm gonna start off with some black compound. The black is the very, very aggressive. It won't leave scratches, but it'll take some more of these little scratches out of here. Okay, that's not sharp where I don't think I'll cut myself. Notice I took my jacket off. I don't want any sleeves dangling, anything like that to get caught in this. This is the most dangerous tool in the shop. And I have 3 of them. So you got to be real careful with them. Never buff with gloves on. Because all it takes is one slip, that glove get caught in there, and you're going with it. Or your finger is going with it. I've already lost the end of this one. I don't want to lose any more. Same goes with grinding on the big belt grinder. No gloves. Alright, I've got a bucket of water right here in case I need it to cool it off. And we're going to do down here first on the tang, then we'll go this way. Go ahead and do the guard too. There. A little bit closer in there. Don't be scared to use compound. You gotta use it. This old buffing wheel here is about wore out. I'm gonna have to change it out soon. There we go. Just gonna take some time. Now I'll shut you off because the camera's really in my way right here. Alright, there's our black compound buff. Now before I clean it off and get it ready, I want to run it one more time. I'm going to use some white compound just to finish polishing it up just a little bit. Now some of these little scratches and marks, they're still going to be there down in the fuller. Just fine. That will leave some type of character to the blade from what it was. But it will be much, much nicer. So move down to the second buffer. The first one is for very abrasives. This one goes down to more of a polish. And the other one is for a final polish. Keep in mind, it's going to be gun blued black, so I'm just trying to make it look the best we can for now. Alright, got the excess wiped off. See how shiny and pretty that is? Too bad it's not going to stay that way, right? Now, it is a bayonet, a military tactical weapon. Tactical weapons are black. Plus, the gun blue will protect from rust. Which we know it'll rust because we saw what it looked like when it got here. Now to wipe off the excess, this is just some alcohol, regular rubbing alcohol. Use that as a degreaser. Acetone would work very well too. But acetone costs a lot more money than rubbing alcohol. So, but acetone has its place. Sometimes that's just about got to have it. And then we'll find a clean spot on our rag. Go over it again. I'm gonna do the blade and the hilt first, and then we'll do the end cap. I think we're about ready. Okay, let it air dry for just a second. Don't take but a minute, and we'll get the gun blue set up and do that. Okay, let's gun blue the blade. Now I've shown this before on other videos, but I have been asked. That is the kind of gun blue that I use. Now I buy it in the quart like this. Because as much of it as I use, it's just cheaper for me to do that. And I pour it out into a little glass jar as I need. Because it was, the last couple of years, it's been hard to find around here in the hardware. They have it in the little blue bottles, which is the same thing. And it went up to a 3-ounce bottle was like $12. That quart right there, I think I paid $26 or $27 for. So. And it'll last a long, long time. Let's use a little swab here. Coat it down real good. Just keep rubbing and it'll penetrate that steel. Just like that. The higher polish you put on it, the more time it takes to penetrate. That's why it's not doing it right away. It's looking good though. It's just like compound. You got to use at times plenty of it to accomplish what you're trying to do. And we're going to leave the handle for now so we have something to hold on to rinse. This sits 1 minute after you get done, and rinse it in cold water. So we'll take it out to the sink and do that. And when we get ready for the handle to go back on, we can always touch this up if we need to. Alright, we about got it. Alright, we let it sit for us a little minute. Make sure we covered everything. Then rinse it and go to the next step. Alright, been rinsed. Next step, we'll take some steel wool and go over it knock the film off of it. Then we can double check to see if we want to put another coat on, if we missed any spots. Which I think we'll go ahead and do it anyway. I do see one spot I missed, or it didn't penetrate real well. And this is 4/0 steel wool. Well, that's acceptable, but we're going to go ahead and put another coat on there. The more coats you put, the darker it'll get and the better it'll protect anyway. So 2 coats will be fine. It's not like this is going to be mounted to a rifle and carried into combat, but you never know. I'll tell them what the world has in store for us. Need that again in a little bit. Now let's take our same brush and repeat the same thing over. Okay, I won't bore you with the whole thing again, but there we go. Alright, got the second coat cleaned up. Steel wool. I soaked it down with WD-40 after you gun blue. I need to oil it down. Any kind of oil will work. I just used WD because I rinsed it with water. Maybe it was damp. Then we're going to wrap it up in a clean shop towel, so we can always go back and touch this up if we need to later on. And this is just so I don't handle it and get oil all over me and the handle. It's got one handle roughed out already. Let me see. Just tape it up like that. Put one more right here to keep that from sliding off of there. There we go. That ought to do it. Now, next step. Clean this up with some, we're going to use acetone to clean this part, because we're going to have to epoxy that in when we get it sorted out. And we'll do, let's go ahead and gun blue this first, the tip end here, then we'll start on the handle. Same process, I won't bore you with all that. Alright, let's start working on the handle. Now this is a piece of cherry that will turn darker over time. You see this little profile in here? I've got it roughed out on the bandsaw, started the little cove in there. Now this is, all this is file a little bit, sand a little bit, file a little bit, sand a little bit. For the cove, I'm using the Dremel tool, little sanding drum. Now this is going to be very time consuming, so we'll take a look at it when I get it done. Just like I said, sand and fit till we get to where we need to be, which is fairly close already, but whoop, wrong way. Anyway, we'll see it again here in a minute. Well, alrighty then. Got one side done. Now it's got a little gap in the top there. The original This is actually the other side. Pardon me. Original had the same gap. Excuse me. You can see that. I don't know why, but in the when I put the epoxy and put it on there, I think we can fix that though. Now, cut another one, the opposite of this. There we go. Got them both fitted pretty well. Now, we'll go to the final shape after everything's epoxied on and the mounting screw is back in there. See, I'll do one side, glue it, then I'll, that way I can make sure I get the bolt hole perfectly. And that'll take a little while to dry, and we'll be back. That took a while to do. Alright, I'm just working away here. Forgot to show y'all what I was doing. Hey, the handle is glued up and dry. Well, dry enough to work with. Now with these corners here, I'm just taking the rasp, knocking these corners off. See, we're going to have to redo the bluing back here, but that's okay. Don't want a sharp corner there. I'm going to take the orbit sander. I put it on the belt sander and knocked off the excess, and I got it down to the edge, almost to the edge. Get all that flush, then we'll have to countersink where the screw goes through. Have to countersink both sides and install that. Final sand, fix that bluing, and put an edge on it, and we'll be just about done with the knife. Then we'll have to do a sheath. Alright, let's put our countersink in for the bolt to go through. See, on the original, the bolt itself is smaller. Countersink, it's got a little stop in there, not unlike a Corby bolt, something like that, same principle. Now, this doesn't have to be very deep. Camera's in the way again. Now, this is not the exact proper tool to do this, but that's what I have. We'll just go really slow and careful. It doesn't have to be very deep at all. And we'll check our depth. I think we're there. I see it's a little bigger because I didn't get exact center. But that's okay. Do the other side. We'll take the little nut. Go down just a little bit more on that one. That's good. Let's take the other side down just a touch. There we go. Good. Good. Now we'll just connect these two back together, do the little final sanding, re-blue and stain. Alright, bluing is done. Sanding. So I'm going to take some dark walnut stain. Put it on with a Q-tip. Real heavy so it'll get down on that inside piece there. Now I don't know what this gap was for, but that's the way the original was. So we're just going to leave it like it was. Maybe some kind of drain or something, I don't know. But I used a piece of the scrap for a test with just clear lacquer. And I think it's going to be a little too light that way. So we want to darken it up some. More closely match the original. And then I'll get the original, we'll compare it. They're not as dark, but that's more like a chocolate brown. But I think this is going to work just fine as well. Main thing we're trying to do here is protect the wood. So I got this side a little bit tighter than the other side, but that's what we'll call that's a drain hole. That okay with everybody? Alright, there we go. Let's let it dry for just a little bit. Soak in good, then I'll wipe off the excess and we'll put the lacquer on there. And the lacquer we'll put not on the end here, but lacquer will go on the spine. Won't hurt anything. Alright, there we go. Almost finished. Alright, boys and girls. Bayonet is done. What do you think about that? Turned out very, very nice. Very, very, very sharp. I mean to tell you sharp. Now the cheek cut is sharp. It's not razor blade sharp, but it is sharp. It will cut. And that is for ease of penetration. To use this as it is designed to use. Also in a hand-to-hand situation. Down, back across. That's why it's called a cheek cut. I'm not going to demonstrate, but anyway, still don't know what it is. The steel is a little better quality than I thought it was. Once I got all the rust and gunk off of it and ground it a little bit, it's not a bad piece. It's built proper for a bayonet, because a lot of them at the end here, they will keep getting thinner and thinner like a dagger. But the most of your strength in your blade when you're stabbing with this mounted to a rifle, you need more steel down here. You need to be beefy down here, which this one is. You can look at it and see. So it's not a bad piece. It may be a real bayonet of some kind and the mark just got ground off of it. I'm not sure. But there we go. All finished. And the sheath will be a separate video. That will probably happen tomorrow, because it is getting late in the afternoon now. So there we go. I'll get this video edited up tonight. And this one will be ready to go back home to its owner tomorrow. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it. And got anything like this you would like done, email me. The link is down in the not the comments, but down below, description. Send me an email, we'll talk about it. And with that, I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support.